Another quick video. The very famous Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. You know, one of those writers that has like Lovecraft. You have Lovecraftian. Orwell, you have Orwellian. Well, Kafka, you have Kafkaesque. Yeah. A lot of it, I mean, from what I read, a lot of his stuff was never completed, and he didn't want his stuff published. And the guy he promised to do that for him did the opposite. But luckily, we have his writings. This is the first thing I've read. I actually bought this book for literally 50 cents years ago. It's not a long story. I mean, most of this is like essays. Uh, the intro was decent. The essays were just, I mean, talk about trying to put so many things that are there. Ironically, Nabokov, Vladimir Nabokov, actually probably gave the best analysis of this story. What is this story? Everybody knows this story, right? Literally, the first sentence is the guy wakes up and he's become a giant bug. And the German is interesting. The German words, we all know, they're very mysterious. There's a lot of German words, like my mother would tell me all the time, that don't have an English equivalent. And he becomes a bug. And in terms of, is this horror? I think this is definitely horror. Okay, existential horror, with notwithstanding. But even physically, I think they made a movie of this. I think, was it Cronenberg? DFC Sons, you might know. But regardless, very recommended. This had the effect on it that I think good art should have, which is that it made me feel kind of uneasy after I read it. Not that my mind was blown, but that things I know already about, let's say, family relations, things I know already about the people who supposedly, are supposed to or say they love you or whatever. Of course, the eternal thing with women. In the back, you hear all kinds of weird analyses. There was even a feminist analysis of this, which Nabokov pretty much wrecked back in the day. It really is the horror of realizing that, there really is, if you want to take it this, I'm not saying what I'm about to say is true, but if you look at it this one way, like the Ligotti stuff, Ligotti probably has read this and has written stories like this. The people that say they love you, they don't really love you. Nobody really loves you. The minute you become a burden, they want to get rid of you. And in some ways, if you have honor and you become a burden, you should sort of exit yourself, which is kind of what happens in this to a degree. But really, the horror of it is to see this devoted son not appreciated, and then the second he becomes, albeit a very strange, almost horrific burden, they literally slowly just cannot wait for him to extricate. Reading this story, forget whatever from my own personal things in any capacity, but thinking about all the, I hate to get topical, thinking about all the young guys who came back from these stupid fucking wars, or should I say manipulated wars, to come home and literally be this guy in his room. It really adds a dimension to it. Definitely horror, in my opinion, and a very talented writer. I have the trial too. I got that for $1. So I'll be reading that at some point also. All right, there's my literary review. Like I said, it's 50-something pages, so you could probably read in a day. All right, later.